white today. Hi guys, my name's Britt. Welcome to my channel. Normally I talk a lot about spiritual expansion and personal development. Zorro, who are you growling at? Never thought that I'd be talking about a Kardashian on my channel. It's funny because I just went to the Latin Grammys and the Kardashians came up and I expressed my undying love for this family and I got a lot of blank stares. I think a lot of people thought that spiritual Britney wouldn't be into this family, and honestly I've been watching them for 10 years since they first started, and I get Kourtney Kardashian as my doppelganger all the time. And honestly, more than anything else, yes, I believe that sometimes they can feed materialism and consumerism to people, but I think that they have just such a tight-knit family bond and they stick up for each other and they're always there for each other. And I think that that's the way that they're portrayed on TV, at least. So if their lives are way different and they actually all hate each other in real life, we definitely wouldn't know any of the better. But I wanted to talk today about something that I think is really, really exciting. So Kim Kardashian came out with her fragrance line this week. It's called Crystal Gardenia, and the bottle for it comes in what looks like a quartz crystal that lays over on its side. And when I first saw it, I was like, what in heaven's name is this about? What is Kim getting into crystals for? If you don't stay up to date with current celebrity gossip and celebrity news, which I normally never do, but I love Ellen, and I saw that she was recently on the Ellen show, so I tuned into it. And if you haven't seen her new little blurb on her fragrances, here it is.
So your mom was on, and I hugged her and I said, "Oh my God, you smell great." And it turns out that it's actually your new perfume.
Yes.
And
Thank you. Crystal Gardenia.
So good.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful bottle too.
This
is beautiful.
A healing crystal, and I was really inspired by healing crystals when, after my Paris situation, all my friends would come over and they'd bring me healing crystals, and I didn't really know anything about them. And so I started to really learn. It's not just like an LA thing. I know a lot of people in LA love crystals, but I started to really get into the meaning and the whole spirit and energy behind it. And so I thought, wow, this would look like a beautiful perfume bottle. And I was already working on the scent, and I love when it all comes together and I find a bottle and a meaning. And so it's about calmness and healing and good energy.
And it smells like gardenia, which I love.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite
Gardenia
scents.
and
It smells so good. I'm telling you, I have to, sometimes people are on with their perfumes, I'm like, oh, it's nice, and it's not. But this really is. It smells so good, and I love gardenia. So everyone in the audience is getting a bottle.
So I think this is a really interesting topic, and since I saw that Kim had come out with her perfume, I've had a few conversations within the spiritual community, and the resounding answer is this. It doesn't matter how people come across or who they receive permission from to get curious about different self-healing modalities, whether it's crystal healing, Reiki, hopping into a yoga class, trying out meditation, trying out Kundalini, anything that takes people out of their current perspective and broadens it even the tiniest bit, I think is fantastic. And I really love that Kim is very vulnerably sharing how she's been self-healing, and I'm sure she's been utilizing a lot of other methods other than just using healing crystals. I just think it's fantastic. I think that sometimes, and this is a really interesting thing to see, people's egos can get triggered and think that the only way into this spiritual community is through some amazing happenstance that isn't through a celebrity. Does that make sense? So this is really just someone expressing and showing their ego, saying, oh, I had a more enlightened pathway that led me into spirituality or crystal healing or whatever, instead of being like, oh, I came across crystals because Kim K mentioned them on the Ellen show, you know? So it's someone having a spiritual hierarchy and saying my way of coming into spirituality and self-healing is more valid or better or meaningful than yours. which is really just a reflection of that person. So if you had triggering thoughts about this, I'm going to ask you to look deeper into that. No judgment at all, but it's just something that I think is really, really interesting to tune our awareness to all the time. With that being said, for Kim to say and even admit in her own way that her friends had come over and given her these crystals, and right away she thought like, oh, this is such an LA thing, but then she started doing her own research, seeing the energetic properties within these crystals and their healing abilities, and obviously she's, gotten some kind of healing from these practices, which I can only imagine that situation, being robbed at gunpoint, tied up, thrown in a bathroom, gotten everything robbed from you. Like, I just couldn't imagine, because she lives in such a bubble anyways, a bubble of safety where she doesn't think that stuff like this can happen to her. I couldn't imagine the trauma that she's gone through. And I think that these are really, really amazing scenarios where crystal healing can be of massive benefit, because when we're able to come to a place where we say, I have something specific in my life that I'm looking to heal, and you do research and match yourself with a crystal that emits those energetic properties, that vibratory stance that you can align yourself with, you're just going to achieve the most massive results. And I can only say this because I have had personal experience with the amazing healing benefits of healing crystals. And I know that a lot of people can just kind of shove it off in a very blasé way. How could that ever work? Basically it's just judgment. It's just coming from a place of judgment, and even if you want to go deeper, a place of fear, because they don't want to believe that something so small that looks so ordinary could do anything meaningful or positive for anyone. And the only way that you'll be able to experience this for yourself is by diving in and really trying something new. Here's another thing. If people believe that something is not going to work, it is not going to work for you. You always have to meet it halfway. You have the modality over here, and then you have your own experience, your beliefs, your being over here. And the only way that you're going to ever achieve something on the other side, if you're waiting for a crystal to move an object across the room or something like that, it's never going to happen. If you're waiting there sitting with crossed arms, like, you need to prove it to me that you work before I'm going to allow myself to, be a pansy and believe in something like this, then you're never going to experience it, because so much of what these practices is that I think is such a better and more prosperous way to grow is by surrender. Tapping into our feminine energy, our right side of our brain, believing, trusting, having faith, surrendering. It's these softer parts of ourselves that we who live in a masculine society don't necessarily come into contact with so often, unless you choose to on your own, which is, I think, another really great thing. So yeah, I really wanted to touch on that today. If you haven't seen any part of my crystal journey, I'll link those videos in the description box down below. I think this is a really wonderful topic to talk about, and I, as you know, am constantly wearing crystals. This is my Angel Aura Quartz from Will to Well Jewelry. This one has given me the most profound abilities in tapping into the spirit realm. That was a really, really big, honestly, request from me towards spirit this year, to connect with my spirit guides and allow myself to be more divinely guided and come into touch with what my purpose on this earth is. And this has totally done it for me. I wear my blue lace agate very often with the angel light as well. This is a great bracelet for opening up and connecting with the throat chakra, for healing the throat chakra, and this has provided immense healing for me in terms of being able to express myself creatively and freely, and just allowing these stories that have been trapped inside of me for so long to come out and flow into the world, to release them, to get them out of myself. I have my tiger's eye, which is wonderful for protection, and the solar plexus chakra. All of that being said, if you have questions about this, or if you want to continue the conversation further, for heaven's sakes, I really want to, down in the comments below, please let me know what is on your mind, how it is that you feel about this, and yeah, I want to open this up further. So if something in this video has resonated with you and you have a friend or family member that you want to have this conversation with that you maybe haven't known how to approach before, please share this with them. The only way that we're able to really start sharing these experiences and reaching further is by sharing the things that are interesting to us with other people, so that we can start opening up more meaningful conversation in our lives. And I am privileged to be a part of that, if you so choose today. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please make sure to do that by clicking the little red subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And please make sure to give this video a like if you did find it exhilarating or if it resonated with you in any way. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Namaste. Crystal healing. How could that ever work? Basically it's just judgment. It's just coming from a place of judgment, and even if you want to go deeper, a place of fear, because they don't want to believe that something so small that looks so ordinary could do anything meaningful or positive for anyone. And the only way that you'll be able to experience this for yourself is by diving in and really trying something new. Here's another thing. If people believe that something is not going to work, it is not going to work for you.